I've lived in Wyoming all my life. I suppose I would call myself a cowboy. You know, I don't wear Wranglers every day or a cowboy hat every day, but it's more of a way of life.
I think that the climbing really matters to him. He really enjoys it. He doesn't care what people think of him or if they think he's great or famous or anything else. In the continuum of Lander climbers over the years, Dussel and Greg Collins and Skinner and Paul Piana, BJ represents the next step forward in technical ability and red pointing, being a much stronger climber than any of those guys were. BJ is a professional carpenter, and it makes me laugh when I see these guys in their sponsored gear, and this guy's like buying his shoes and climbing on 20-year-old quick draws.
My schedule the last couple years has been working through the summer, September, October off, and then back to work, and then usually take February and March off.
He's developed his entire climbing style around the rock here.
The Wild Iris is a really cool area. It's just this bone white dolomite, and it's incredibly clean and incredibly solid rock. It tends to be kind of small, like short, steep features, but a really fun, powerful style with lots of small 1 and 2 finger pockets. And it's pretty expansive. There's a lot of that type of rock up there. You know, going through the moves with confidence is difficult because you're just not sure when it's going to be too much. You don't know exactly what your fingers can take, and when you go too far, it's really bad. You could call it rowdy. Yeah, pain tolerance is an issue, I guess. Just because you're pulling on tiny, tiny holds. Like, you're definitely gritting your teeth and bearing down on some tiny holds. Like, the movement is really good, but the holds are pretty heinous because they're all small 1-finger pockets and whatnot. Like, that little 2-finger crimp pocket on Genetic Drifter really comes to mind. It's a really good boulder problem, but it's not really fun, so that makes it difficult to really push yourself when you're scared the whole time that you might hurt your fingers.
I started rock climbing in Cody when I was about 14, and shortly after that I moved to Lander and met, Todd Skinner and Steve Bechtel and Bobby Modell, and we become friends, and they've been a tremendous influence on me. You're just out with your friends and, drinking cheap beer and shooting guns and cutting down trees and having big fires. Yeah, that's what cowboys do when they go rock climbing.
Genetic Drifter is a really special route. It's hard to even say how long I've been trying that route because I've been climbing on the pieces of it for so long. That first crux is so hard for me that I only get through it once or twice a summer. It's also a really special route because it's kind of the culmination of all the climbing on that wall. And there's a few places that you get to a good hold and you can kind of take a deep breath and slow down a little bit and maybe chalk one hand, but there's nowhere that you're really hanging and shaking out.
What's that remind me of? What's that remind me of? It must be love. What's that remind me of? What's that remind me of? It must be love.
top it out, Wendling.
Oh my God!
Yeah! That was awesome.
Oh my God!
Holy cow!
You